It's 5 hours.
Good morning, Lizwe Nation. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on our YouTube channel, for joining us on our Facebook Live on Tea with Lizwe. Really appreciate that you are here with us today, and we're thanking you very much for doing this. So thank you very much on our day 70 of the lockdown in the Republic of South Africa. We appreciate your support. You've been with us through thick and thin, during cold front, during the alert level 5, alert level alert lockdown level 5, alert level lockdown 4, to the current one that started on the 1st of June, which is your alert lockdown level 3, which has some relaxation in terms of the state regulation in line with the disaster management that was recommended by the National Coronavirus Command Council. We thank all the interministerial ministers that have been busy in line of setting the regulation, in line with tabling the government gazette to be abiding. Although we've had some sketching court decision that was made to say some of the regulation that were put in there by the National Coronavirus Command Council, where some of them were illegal. So we'll hear what is government's response in line with that. But we are still thinking that government did all of that in order for us to see the light of the day, in order for them to curb the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic in South Africa. Because as we know, we have not yet reached of government. It shows that it's a government that cares for the people, that does not care for money too much, but their lives, as is enshrined in our constitution, that the lives of the citizen, of the South African citizen, must be saved first. The lives of the people of the Republic must be saved first. With that, I want to welcome you. I'm Lizwe Mknebe, and I help engineering executive. I help small, micro, medium enterprise entrepreneurs. I help your speakers. I help your businesses like your chamber, your foundation, to make sure that you realize the productivity that you will have once you make sure that your people, processes, and systems are synchronized. They are working together at about 33.3%, so that you can get your return on investment. Make sure that you leverage your time, you leverage your location where you are, and then with that being said, you are managing your money at the end of the day. That is our today's program. It's still chilling here in the Free State, but we are getting there. We are not discouraged by the weather. We'll never be discouraged by the weather. The weather or the winter does not start. It didn't start this year. It started 40 for some of us. It started 40 years ago. So we are still going through the winter. We know how to change via seasons, and we are saying this season of winter is not going to make us despair our wonderful program of having tea with Lizwe, with you, our supporters, with you, ours. Because what we want to do is we want to give you the value so that you can take this value that we are giving to you, and then you go and implement it, benefits of these fruits that we are giving to you in terms of the value. So we are all about value. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome you, and we want to encourage you to always comment, put in the suggestion that you want us, or any topic. So that is what we really want. Any comments, any friends that you want to ask, that you want to take in some of our Facebook Live, please do that. Please do that, and let us abide by the government regulation, which we will read through in terms of adhering to the regulation in line with COVID-19. Let at least 20 seconds with water and soap or alternatively with an alcohol-based sanitizer. From that, let us make sure that when we cough into our elbow by a tissue. Let us make sure that we avoid crowded areas. And please let us bear in mind that there will be some fake news, but let us only listen to the health organization in a form of your CDC, in your form of NCID, or in a form of your Department of Health. And their website where you can get the www.coronavirus.co.za, which is a South African website where you can get relaxed into this fake news. And then when we have a cough or a sore throat, we must seek medical help. And then we do that by making sure that we call them before we can take that treatment. That is what we need to do. And then let us always make sure that we exercise our minds. We communicate, we connect with our friends via the social media, via your telephone, via your Zoom, via your Jujitsu. So there's a lot of platforms that you can use in order for you to communicate with your friends. Not you being there, because when you are visiting your mother, your grandparents, you are running the risk of infecting them. Because remember, the program that is in line with COVID-19 is we must stay at home alone together. That is what is required from us in these steps. So that is what we need to do going forward from here. So thank you very much for listening to this wonderful message that is brought to you by the South African government together. So there's a lot of things that is happening currently in America, that is happening all over the world, where Black Lives Matters. We are very concerned as well from our front to be seeing what is happening in America, the riots, the looting, but it was caused by the policemen that assaulted and ultimately. So what has happened, we really condemn it from our front. It is injustice, and the police should not do it, should not exercise in any form of racism. Because racism, whether you are a racist towards a white person, whether you are a racist towards a black person, racism is racism. Because racism, whether you are a racist towards a white person, whether you are a racist towards a black person, racism is racism. It does not have a front. We are saying racism is not right. It is taking the dignity of other nation or other people of. Remember, in South Africa, we have fought, or our fathers, our forefathers have fought the fight against the apartheid rule. So when we see racism happening, or we are remembering the issues of the 1968, of the issues of slavery that has happened before in our nation or in our countries. So it is very sad, taking us back. So hence there's a question that the people are asking: are we still doing COVID-19, or we are looking at Black Lives Matters? Both of them are critical. It depends on whose front are you looking at. So if you're looking at it from your front, you might say COVID-19 has been surpassed by the Black Lives Matters, because the leader of that country, which is the United States of America, has not led this issue of George Floyd. He has not taken the responsibility on it. Instead, he has put in more fuel into that fire so that it can burn more. So we are watching the space, and then we don't want, or we don't like what we see happening in America, because really Black Lives Matters. So with that being said, we like to pass our condolences to the family of George Floyd, to say what has happened was not supposed to happen. People are not supposed to be treated the way he was treated. And it's not only him, because other cases have been revealed that there's a lot of black gentlemen that have been shot by police, people that are supposed to protect them. They are the ones that are assaulting them. So with that being said, we salute the movement of Black Lives Matters, because it needs to get to people that we are all equal in the society, passing that message to that front. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we've suggested, you can comment, you can put in your input, you can come with us, take us to your confidence as well. So let us start sharing these issues as well. So what we will be doing is, from now henceforth, everyone that has watched our video we would like you, or who has watched our Facebook Live, we would like you to comment in terms of anything that you see, anything that you are struggling with. If you want to follow suit as well and do the same program as we are doing, or you want to do your 5 minutes Facebook Live every day, you are allowed to ask small questions in here to say, what is it that we are using, or if you are having a struggle with any technology, we are allowed to come. So we are still requesting sponsorship as well to provide us with the coffee that we'll be drinking or the tea that we'll be drinking on our TV fleas during all our programs. So anyone that is willing to come and advertise their program or sponsorship or any item that they are having, they are allowed to come here and have a 5 minutes or 60 seconds advert in line with that. So we are open for that. And then soon we'll roll out that in terms of the advert conditions and all of that. And we are still inquiring as well, or we're still inviting other people as well to come with us so that we can do a 2x2 where they can share their story as well on our Facebook Live, so that we can inspire the nation, we can inspire the Black nation, we can inspire the white nation, we can inspire the rainbow nation to say, during this time, during the trying times, how must you behave? How must your business evolve during this? How must you evolve during this? How must your business diversify during this? But as you have seen, our topic is simple. Our topic is saying, what have you been up to during the day 70 of the lockdown? What is it that you've been pulling up your shoulder during this time? So thank you, Kabelo, for joining us as well during our tea with Lizwe. We really appreciate it. Our birthdays, my birthday was on the 29th and his was on the 30th. So happy belated KB for your birthday. I was busy on site, but thank you very much for wishing me. And then I think by communicating with you on my day of birthday, I was advancing my greetings to you for the 30th as well. So thank you very much for joining us. So how are we doing during our day 70 of the lockdown? What kind of questions are we asking ourselves during these trying times? So you see, during this time, we tend to be reading a lot of articles. So, and then these articles that will be drastically impacting our lives. So when I read this article that was written by a man, said, I will quote, I learned to stop asking why this is happening to me, and instead I started asking, why is this happening for me? So the situation, you do not ask the situation so that you can have a low self-esteem. You must ask your question scenario so that you can inspire your current situation. So this gentleman was asking himself, why is this happening to me? So it's a slight change in terms of the focus that can make a huge difference in your life. So if you look at Anthony Robbins, this is what Anthony Robbins always says. I will quote Anthony Robbins as well. The quality of our lives is determined by the quality of the questions we ask ourselves. So when you are in a situation, it's about the quality of the question that you ask yourselves. So let me requote again Anthony Robbins. He says, I quote, the quality of our lives. So we must look at the questions asked above. When you are questioning why something is happening to you, you tend to be in a... So we must look at the questions asked above. When you are questioning why something is happening to you, you tend to be in a victim thinking. So you must never in your life become a victim. You must never. So in my case, there are other things that are happening on my personal life, but I will never ask myself that question to say, why is this happening to me? Because I tend to become a victim, but I must take that and turn it around. So if you are questioning why something is happening for you, the focus is different. It allows for further questions that can help us learn from this incident. What can I do differently next time to get better results? So these are the questions that we need to ask ourselves, empowering questions, not the low syndrome questions that will pull us down. So what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time to get better results? Or how can I use this information, or this same incident that has happened to me, how can I use it and turn it into a positive advantage? You can do that. Do not use your current situation and portray it as a victim, or portray yourself as a victim. Use that and turn it around into a positive advantage. That is what we need to be thinking. We need to think. We need to have a mental shift that creates a better outcome. That is what we need. If we can live in a society where every situation that has happened, we have a mental shift that can create a better outcome, will be a better nation and a well-informed nation, because we do not fall victim, or we do not fall prey to people that want to pull us down. It can lead to thinking about solution rather than thinking about the problem. So that is what we want. We need to be thinking about solutions. Let us stop thinking about the problems. We tend to think the universe is just about us. The universe is not about us only. If I will say, and then break the ice, I want to say, I hate to be the one to break the news that the universe is not about us. Not about us. The universe is not about us. We are a lot of people. We are in billions, and we will be selfish if we think that the universe is about us. So we tend to think that the universe is about. So we tend to interpret every word, every action, every situation as being about us. It's not. If something goes wrong, we think it is something someone did to us. No. Remember, like I said in my previous Facebook lives on the Tea with Lizwe, everything that you want, you have to meditate about it. So there's a universe. You have to have the power of meditation for attracting the man. You have to have the power of attraction for attracting the right people that you can do business with, your partners. So you have to have those meditation power. So we tend to interpret every word, every action, every situation as being about us. It's not. It's a lot of us. So if something goes wrong, we think it's something that someone did to us. Instead, maybe it is a learning experience that will help us in the next situation. What is the lesson learned? Every situation that you go past, you must ask yourself that question. What is it that I've learned from this? And maybe not. Bad things do happen to good people. It will be like that. Bad things do happen to good people. But if our focus is only on ourselves, then we get stuck, or we wallow. We go all around. We become the squirrel. I've made an example of the squirrel this week. But if we learn to ask better questions, it could turn our lives around too. So this has happened to us. It has happened to me as a professional. When I think, during this day, one of the CEO in one organization wanted me out of the project as soon as possible. I didn't wallow around. I went straight to the point and said, no, this is how I'll be doing this from my front. And if you don't like it, this is how I will do it. This is how I've been doing it. If the question could turn our lives around too. So knowledge is having questions. So when you say you are empowered in terms of ask the right, you need to have the right answers, and then you only have that by having the intelligence of asking the right questions. So if you own or manage a business, what are the biggest challenges in your industry or that your industry is facing? You can do that. I've read another article as well yesterday in our LinkedIn a blog post. There's a guy, he's been consulting for 20 years. He has lost his job due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and then he's asking What can he do? So there's a lot of things. If he has been in the industry for so many years, what is the next step that you think uh, he can start? What is the thing? What is the thing that he can start? Or must he continue looking for a job? Or must he start his own business? So if you have anything that you want to advise this gentleman, you can please reply in our comment site. And then, like I'm asking ourselves, if you own a business or you manage a business, what are the most biggest challenges your industry is facing right now due to the COVID-19 pandemic? There's a lot of us that are facing a lot of things. For example, I did a gig about a week ago. The problem that we are facing, it's not only being faced by me, it's faced by everyone. Uh, we are booked to go and speak face to face, but now that has changed. We are now doing the zooming, we are now doing the jiu-jitsu. So, but the event organizers, the people that are setting these events, they tend to forget the event organizers, the people that are setting these events, they tend to forget that knowledge. They want to treat your Zoom meetings as a free resource, not as a paid gig. So it's an industrial blanket in all the speaking organization that we are faced as. They were asking the same question a week ago to say, we tend to have this trend where event organizers or your bureau, your speakers bureau, they don't want to charge their keynote speaking fee while they are doing it on Zoom. So people must not take advantage of our industry or of COVID-19. So that is what we need to do in this regard. So those are some of the challenges that we are faced with. We know currently in South Africa, we are faced with a lot of jobs that will be shared due to the COVID-19, or a lot of retrenchments are on the pipeline. Like in America, we know in America there was a lot of retrenchment. I think about 25 million people lost their jobs in America. In South Africa, they are approximating about 1.8 million people who will lose their jobs as well. So there's a lot of things that are happening. So what are those challenges? Share with us, reply, and let us know what are those as well. Like I said, we always recommend that you comment or you put any topic of discussion that you want us to do going forward. So we'll appreciate that from your front. And let us not forget to always adhere by the government regulation in terms of all the alert lockdown levels. Let us respect the government. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for attending our session today. What kind of question are you asking yourself? I think we need to reformat that and then start asking it in a better way, in a better position, so that we can become winners at the end of the day. So with that being said, thank you very much for coming and then watching our Facebook live, our YouTube channel as well in this regard, because we are running the two concurrently. And please comment or follow us in all our social media platforms. Until we see each other again tomorrow, God bless. Thank you very much.